All right, linear inequalities in two variables. Two variables just means that you are having an x and a y. Remember, an inequality means that you have less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. A boundary line. A boundary line is just your line that you're graphing. Okay? So the boundary line means that this is where all your answers are. Okay? So it includes the boundary line because that is a solid line. So when you have a solid line, then what I need you to remember is that when it's less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, it's a solid line. If it's less than or greater than, that is a dotted line. Okay? So because I'm shaded below, that means it would be less than or equal to. This up here would be greater than or equal to. Okay, so let's decide if the graphs are correct on these next few inequalities. So first let's actually check the graph to see if it's correct. So to graph this, I would go down to -1 and then my slope. So my slope here, remember we already talked about how to graph, and my y-intercept is -1. So I'd go down to -1, I'd go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. So looks like that is correct. This is a greater than inequality. So with a greater than inequality, remember that means this is a dotted line. So what I'm going to do is, yes, that's correct. So this is correct and this is correct. Now the only thing we have to check is the shading. So the shading, it says that y is greater than, so greater than would be above. Okay, so what I'm going to do is teach you a couple ways to figure that out. One, you can take this equation and you can plug in the point 0, 0. So if I plug that in, I get 0 is greater than 3 times 0 minus 1. So I get 0 is greater than -1. Is that true? This is true, so then you would shade above. Okay? The other way you guys can decide for greater than. I think this is easier, but you guys do what you think is easiest for you. So on this graph, what I would do is I would say, okay, my y-intercept is at -1 right here. Okay, so this is my y-axis right here. Oops, y-axis right there. So then what you can say is, where are the y's greater than -1? Well, they're up here. So then that would be the place that you shade. So where are the y's that are greater than -1? They're up here. That's why you shade on that side. All right, so let's look at the next one. The next one, we're going down to -1 and down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. So the line is correct. It's greater than or equal to, so it is the correct line. Now, let's figure out if the shading is correct. So once again, here is the point 0, 0 I could plug in. The only reason I'm picking 0, 0 is because it's easy to pick and easy to plug in. You could pick 1, 1 if you wanted. You could pick 1, 2 if you wanted. You could pick any point that's not on that line. So if I plug 0, 0 in, I get 0 greater than or equal to -0 minus 1, which is 0 greater than or equal to -1. Is 0 greater than or equal to -1? Yes. Oh, so guess what? It is shaded on the wrong side. So then this needs to be shaded on this side. Now remember, we could do the other trick where here is my y-intercept at -1. Where are my y's? Because remember, this is your y-axis. Where are the y's that are greater than -1? Here's -1. All the y's are greater up here, are bigger. So then I would shade there. Okay? So let's look at the next one. So y is less than 4, x is less than 4. X. So remember, this is my x-axis. So that means I go to 4 on the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 4. It says less than. That should be a dotted line, which it is. And it's vertical because it goes through the x-axis. And then it says x is less than. So where are all the x's less than 4? They are on this side. So then you shade on this side. Now, I know shading can be confusing. So if you need help, come in after school and I'll be happy to help you. So you know when I say come in that you're coming in on a Zoom. All right, so then let's graph these. So first, I know that my slope is -2. My y-intercept is 3. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3. I go down 2 to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. This is less than or equal to. So a way that I kind of help you remember, if you have an inequality and it has a solid line below, you know that that is what your line will look like. So then that helps you remember that this is going to be a solid line. All right, now it says that y is less than. So here's my y right here. Where is less than on the y-axis? This is your y-axis. Where is the y's that are less than 3? Down here, 2, 1, 0, -1. So on this side. So that means I would shade this way. Once again, remember, I can pick that point right here, and I can pick 0, 0 and plug in. So then I would have 0 is less than or equal to -2 times 0 plus 3. Is 0 less than or equal to 3? Yes. So then you would shade on that side. All right, last one on this page. So I'm going to actually pause this, and I want you to work that on your own. And when you come back, it'll be all right. So now you can see that this is the answer. So dotted line, everything above. All right, let's go look at some more. So we already had one similar to this already. But remember, let's see, I think I'll just write it at the top of this page. Remember, if I have x is greater than -2, here's my axis. I am going to go over to -2, and then the inequality means it's going to be a dotted line greater than. Where are all my 2's greater than? Okay, so when it leads with x, when the inequality is solved for x, that means it has to go through the x-axis. So then same as if I put y is less than or equal to 1. Axis, this time I'm going on the y-axis. So this is the y-axis here. So I'm going to go up to 1. It's going to be a solid line because of this. It's going to make it a solid line. So I have a solid line going through the y-axis, and y is less than. So less than would be down. Okay? I am actually not going to work number 3 for you. I'm going to pause. I'm going to have the answer for you, and then we'll come back. That is what your problem should look like on that one. Now, on this problem right here, it is not solved for y, so I need to solve for y. So I'm going to go down here at the bottom, and I'm going to write 2x minus y is greater than or equal to 1. So I'm getting y by itself so I can graph, so I'm subtracting 2x. That cancels. I get negative y greater than or equal to negative 2x plus 1. Now I'm going to divide by a negative. All right, so remember, when I divide by a negative 1 or a negative period, I have to switch that sign. I always circle it. That's my little trademark. I always circle it when I need to switch. So remember that if you're multiplying, oh, that didn't really look like a multiply there. If you multiply or divide by negative, switch the inequality. So here now I would have y, switch the inequality, 2x minus 1. So my slope is 2, my y-intercept is negative 1. So I'm going to go down to negative 1. I'm going to go up 1, 2 over 1, up 1, 2 over 1, up 1, 2 over 1. It's going to be a solid line because I have the equal to, so I have the solid line. Y is less than, so if this is where I'm crossing the y-axis, where are all the y's less than negative 1? Negative 2, negative 3, negative 4 down here, which means this is the side I shade on. All right, so I'm going to pause again. All right, so hopefully your graph looks like that. So then we have one more to work together. I'm going to work it real fast for us here. 6x plus y less than or equal to 1. So I'm going to subtract that 6x. I get y is less than or equal to negative 6x plus 1. My slope is negative 6. My y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to go up to 1. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right 1. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right 1. You also can go up. So remember, you can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left 1. Just move that negative. It's equal to, so that's a solid line. Now, here's where I'm crossing the y-axis at 1. So where are all the ones that are at 1, where are the numbers less than 1? Down here. So that means I would shade on this side. Good job today, guys. Sorry the video was so long. Hopefully you don't have any questions, but if you do, come in and see me.